Hey guys, Brix back with another LEGO Transformer review. Today we'll be taking a look at my, I guess the G1, I don't know if there's any other versions, but we're going to be taking a look at Deathsaurus. Let's check it out. Okay, so here we have Deathsaurus looking super dupe. He also goes by Deathsaurus, maybe? But I'm just going to do a little rotating, even though I do have a whole rotating table. Just, you know, more so just trying to get the video done because I actually recorded it a while back and it won't fit on my computer. So I'm going to take the advice of my man Logan Film Studios and try to just do it in little breaks and stuff. And if you haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. He's an awesome builder. Alright, so here we have Deathsaurus, looking pretty cool. We have his other little, I guess like breastplate buddy right here. And got some accessories and such here. So we will first take a look at size comparisons, because being how long this video originally took, the one I did before this one, I decided to sit there and design actual deluxe scale ones. So I did that for both Deathsaurus and Star Saber. So we're gonna knock these guys out, and then we'll probably immediately take them apart to build their deluxe size counterparts. So here's my version 2 Star Saber and my version 1 Deathsaurus. So that way you guys can see how they look in this mode. And just to get an idea of scale, I'm going to show my almost completed prototype of Armada Starscream. So this is deluxe scale, and this is, I guess, you know, the only other size I have bigger than deluxe. So I guess we'll go over articulation, and then we'll probably start shooting another video to get into transformation. So in articulation, his head could go up and down. His mouth does open and close. These little arms, they are on mixel joints, so stretch all the way out. Then we have a little clip hinge right there. So we have that, and they could, I guess, technically do a full 360 if the wings weren't in the way. This wing's a little bit heavy, which not sure why, but guess what? Version 2 will be a lot smaller and work pretty good. The legs, they are on the bigger ball joints. So you can see how that works right there. And that could essentially go all the way around, because this is also his robot mode arm. And then you have his little feet, which have multiple points of articulation right there, even down to the little toesies. And then these all do move in also because they're on those hinge plates. And then even his tail could go up and down a little bit here and here. Essentially, you just have to move like 3 parts to kind of make it move together. But yeah, and that's pretty much it in what people are calling space chicken mode, which, I mean, I honestly never even watched the Japanese continuity of, you know, Transformers Victory yet. It's just a model that I felt like I had to do at some point. But yeah, that is articulation. So I apologize if you see any breaks or anything, but I'm gonna try to just edit everything to where it flows together as much as possible. Okay, so we're gonna try to get into transformation. I don't necessarily need to remove the winged lion chest plate in order to do that. At least I hope I don't. At least I don't think so. But we will just get into transformation. The first thing we want to do is take this tail and remove that, and we'll show that off later. The next thing that we are going to do, ideally, let's get these wings out the way. I'm going to try my best to keep everything on camera as much as possible. I know that this is going to fold up and essentially fold back, but we're going to have to get these legs out the way, which means that we have to get the arms out of the way first, because they are on these little platforms here, which are going to have to rotate. They are studded in, so you'll be rotating ideally at that Technic clip right there. So just kind of get in there a bit and wiggle it out to where you can see it's now nice and that's where it tabbed in before. It's gonna probably be like a headlight brick down there, which will tab into it. So before all that, funny enough, we would have to get these wings out the way, because that has to rotate before we flip that up. So we're gonna take these guys and kind of rotate them. They are, oh no, they are on stud friction, and this is why now I'm seeing why this video kind of took long the first time. Is I'm like, why did it take an hour? Because it is quite difficult to maneuver without completely ripping it apart. So it is on stud friction at this point. I want to kind of stretch those limbs out a bit to kind of help get things out the way, but you're taking this and you're moving it complete 180, and just enough so to where it's out the way like that. You might see me fixing things along the way just to make sure that things also don't fall apart, but we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Oh boy, both of them fall off. That's fine. It's Lego. From what I hear, the actual toy falls apart too. So now that we have that, we are going to now try to move this plate. Try to get finger in there and then rotate it up. And then, you know, you could, like, once it's kind of in there, you can kind of like stop it at certain points to help it out some. Huh. All right, so once that's there, does it actually block it? It does, doesn't it? Yeah, so there's a lot of moving parts, so that's the only thing that you kind of have to be aware of, is that once these are there, I am remembering now that these little pegs were there for a reason, just to kind of help like the different stages of transformation. So from here, now we technically have to work on the legs to get that out the way. So basically what we do here is, you see these hinges right here, we're going to be opening the back of the leg out to be able to flip them out. So if I am lucky, we should be able to just kind of open it up like that, like so. Just kind of get into these grooves right here. Oh no. Guess we really did need to like design that that version too. So this is what's supposed to kind of make it easy to come off right there. So you kind of have to like get your fingernail in that section and just make sure that that kind of goes along for the ride right there. Now, to make sure that this has a smooth transition, we have these ratchet joints right here that come out like that. One more, boom. So at that point, wow, come on guys. But I like to make sure that you guys see the real stuff here. I don't try to filter anything or do multiple takes necessarily, because once you see the actual experience of the model itself, so that way you don't have false expectations. And then from here, we should be able to kind of flip everything out, but we got to get these legs even higher and then be able to kind of work it around the hips there. There you go. There you go. So that's what we're aiming for. Then from here, we could kind of just like lock things in place. We got that guy. Make sure these feet are there, and just pretty much put them back where we had them. We got that. Let's do this side. Now here you might have a little tolerance issue, as this lip right there kind of bangs into that blue part of the leg, like right there. So just kind of force it. It's fine. It won't really come apart. Once you're in the motion of it, it's not gonna really mess with you. And then flip that right there. These are pretty much like the ankle supports. And the leg is trying to come apart. Huh. So essentially the legs are tabbed together with these two tabs that you can see right there, and the leg right there. So from here, now that the legs are freed up, we could finish maneuvering these pieces right here around. And there's a tab, or actually a stud right there, that this headlight brick right there will be clipping into, or stop, you know, just fixing itself to. And as we move the arms down, we could just get right in there and press that in, and it's nice and secure now. And we could keep the arms forward just to keep things out the way. Do the same thing on the other side. Now, as you can see, one of the little space chicken arms did kind of fall off. So in order to get that to where it needs to go, we're going to leave this plate in that configuration and rotate this down from what it looks like. Yeah, this would have to rotate, and then this comes out right there, like so. So we could do the same thing with the other side. We're just going to pretend that it was attached the whole time and rotate it up and put it back into place right there, like so. Just so you guys know where it should be. And this has like a ratcheted waist, so we're going to put it back and then secure this side of the arm. And it's kind of important, I guess, to follow these steps as is, because otherwise, you know, it might make things more difficult otherwise. All right, so we got that situated. The next thing would be to kind of get these wings out the way like that. And then we want to, because at this point he could pretty much stand. I got really loose blue pieces right here, so that's the only reason that leg likes to come off. So our next thing is to open up this door right here to kind of give clearance for the head. At least I believe that's what it was for, but now I'm kind of curious. I know it goes up that way, and then there is a hinge there for a reason. Oh, okay, so the top comes off like that. And then that helps with the clearance to get through, to get, you know, around the head. Once you're over the head, you close that back up. Make sure this is as up as possible, and then the whole thing could come down, and as you can see, it'll cover where the arms are in the back of the head. And then we can even take the little space chicken hands and I guess fold them back just to get out of the way of the head. And we are done with a majority of the body, so next will just be the arms. So I just want to set that aside. Easy, buddy. Kind of show what that looks like so far. All right, that's where we're at so far. So once again, we're at like 11 minutes deep. I'm gonna cut it and then come right back. All right, so our next step would be to work on these arms where, we're just gonna get the wings out the way so we have full room to operate here. And essentially, let's see, these ball joints, I made things like really strong, so that's why it's like a little difficult. I know that these have to fold up to kind of give way to like be able to switch this around, but this also has to come down roughly right there. And then this whole bottom quarter of the arm does rotate this way, and then you're able to flip the fist out there. And then from here, we should have that gap in the back to then be able to fold this up into the back of the forearm, make sure everything is still nice and secure. Then these feet come out, and ideally, you would kind of want these folded up like this, and then fold these toes together, and then bring it up to where it looks like that. It's kind of bulky in the back, and it could be refined, but I guess that's what I did for version 2. And then you could kind of see how the arm works right there. So we got that, and it's pretty strong. I mean, it's like all on bigger ball joints. It does hold its weapons up pretty well. So we're gonna do the same on the other side, where we kind of just bend the elbow. That gives us access to this. Fold it up, and then that will then allow us to spin this around. That's also spinning around on like whatchamacallit, a mixel joint as well, like right in the middle of all this. And then from there, we should be able to fold that up into the arm, fold the hand out like so, and then I like to fold this up and then fold the toes down, rotate them in together, and they're already where they kind of need to be. So in order to kind of get them nice and grounded, we do have ankle rockers there, so that way we could kind of get them in a more natural state. And then we could bring the wings back out. And the cool thing about the wings, I mean, these forearm pieces, is like it kind of helps stabilize the wings a bit. So that's cool. Now with the chest piece, if these do fall off, we're looking to plug them into like the bottom peg right there. And then they'll just rotate out like this. So bottom peg. Can't wait to show you guys the smaller version. Not sure when I'm gonna post it yet, but all right, behave. All right, and there's Deathsaurus. All right, so we will bring him off to the side, do a nice little size comparison. And here he is with Star Saber. And as you can see, you know, Star Saber is a bit, you know, considerably taller. He's probably coming up to, right up to his neck right there. The new deluxe versions, they are pretty much in scale with each other, even though Deathsaurus is supposed to be taller, so that way he matches him when he has Victory Leo attached to his feet and everything. But he gets considerably larger with my deluxe scale Victory Leo attached to the feet, so he's probably up to like here, just out of sight of the camera. So another reason why it was a good idea to redesign them, even though it's still technically out of scale once I plug everything in. But it all started with this guy. I had to make a version 2 of this guy before I did a video for version 1, which I never did. I tried to make improvements, ended up doing everything from scratch, and here he is. And then I did that one right after. So just to give you guys an idea of the little background behind as to why everything is kind of falling in place the way it is right now. And here's another deluxe scale size comparison. So you have that. And just for fun, being that I'm having to re-record this all over again almost a month later, here is a rough prototype of my deluxe scale 6-shot. So if I do need to order any pieces, you know, the pieces will be in that order to complete this guy. Can't wait to show that off and how long that video could be for all 6 modes. Jeez. So you guys pretty much have an idea of articulation for this guy. So we will once again take a little stop and start break and then go over the chest plates. Alright, so now we will take a look at the chest plates. So they are interchangeable. These are clipped in right here, these little black bars right there. So to get this guy out, I'm gonna rotate these in and just kind of pop them off right there, and try to pop that off right there without losing anything, and specifically without breaking anything. There we go. Perfect. All right, wiggle that out, and half his body is stuck inside. That's odd. Very odd. Forgot that I had connection points in there. Alright, so that's what his chest would look like without any of his breast masters. I guess that's what it's called. But these clips are only made for the lion guy. This guy, he plugs in via these round 1x1 plates right there on the wings, and they will go into that stud, and that would be it. There's no other. Oh, matter of fact, yeah, there are studs that it's supposed to go into. This little guy was not supposed to come along for the ride. So that's what it would look like. And the bottom studs, the round 1x1s will plug into that gray 1x4 right there. I'll do a loose connection just so that we're not ripping anything apart for that. Could get right in there like that, and that's what it would look like with that connected. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Now I'm still developing this for the deluxe scale. I got the smaller version of this guy done, so this one is taking me a little bit. Hopefully I could get it done before I do that video, which I don't see why not, considering I do videos like once every quarter or something. Now the reason why I did it like this is to make it come out easier, so you could kind of get your nail right into that little lip to pull it out, but you know, it doesn't always come out. So we'll be rounding off this review without the chest plates, because I want to be able to show you guys what those do. So as far as articulation for this guy, I mean, you guys can pretty much get an idea, but we have, oh, I thought I had more than 90 degrees, but I guess that gold 1x2 prevents that. Oh, man. Well, I know it does work on the smaller version, because that's not in the way. Arm goes full 360, the wings could kind of get out the way. Show all of that. Very stiff ball joints right there. The head goes up and down, looks 360. And I apologize if you guys hear my girlfriend calling me right now. The leg goes up and down like that, and not much on the knee. And for, you know, we have the ratcheted waist joint right there. Can't go all the way around. We have to kind of lift up that bird head in the back in order for it to go all the way around, so you can get some more dynamic posing. And then we have toe articulation, of course. And then we have foot tilt as well. So we got all of that. And let's see, that is pretty much it for articulation in robot mode. Let's see. Yeah. That would be it in robot mode. I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the lion chest plate. So this is pretty much the configuration in which we removed it from the main body. And you can see how this works. Just has these hinges right here. So we will go into, I guess, like the bow and arrow mode. So for that, we are pretty much just going to take these guys down here, and they will rotate out like so. And then these pieces, they'll rotate on these black 1x1 rounds with the bar. So from here, we'll just flip them out like that, and flip them out like that. And now you have in you know, just a bow and arrow mode. These little pegs could just rotate to the back if you don't want them sticking out. Won't really make too much of a difference, but just to kind of streamline it a little bit. And that's what it will look like. So with this, I do have pictures online of how it looks, like how you attach it to the hand and everything. There's no, you know, slots in the forearms or anything. The way I have it is just literally pegging into his fist. And then you could have that happen along any of these anti-studs right there, basically. And this would be his, I guess, his arrow. And it doesn't necessarily peg anywhere, but it has a ton of articulation in the part that would connect to the hand. And roughly, if you disengage that that shoulder swivel, then that kind of gives him the illusion of a butterfly joint, because the arm could like fold across his chest. Once again, I have that on my Instagram, not so much on the Facebook, but this will be able to get the arrow where you need it to be, so that way it looks like he's gonna shoot it, basically. So to get this guy into lion mode, as you could imagine, we are going to just flip these up. I'll rotate them, and then, oh, get back on there, buddy. And then rotate that up as well. Get that nice and flush. Then we could take the little, I guess the I don't know why a bow and arrow would have barrels, but you know, they're Transformers. And then the head, we could kind of rotate out a little bit. So just keep in mind like where that ball joint is, and you could kind of just wiggle it out a little bit. It's on that ball joint with the stick, and I feel like I'm going to rip this thing apart doing that, but it does, you know, have that head articulation. Oh, it's one of the transparent ones, so it's a bit stiffer than the gray ones. But for the legs, we pretty much just take these little yellow nubs and move them out, and then we could grab his little toes back in here. Come on, come over here. And then able to just kind of rotate them out like that. There you go. And then it'll just hang out and stand like that. Kind of looks like a little Pokemon or something. But he does have articulated mouth, even on this scale, which is pretty cool. Got the little eyes and ears and everything. Head could look up a fair bit and could look down a fair bit as well. So I thought that was fun to try to pack as much of like, you know, accurate detail into this as possible. There might be a little less accuracy on the smaller one, but it's deluxe, so you kind of have an idea what to expect. As far as the little bird dude, I don't know which bird is it supposed to be, hawk, eagle, falcon, I'm not really sure, but the little red bird dude. I guess we'll go from here, because these little guys, they're technically triple changers. That's why this video is so long. To get him into his blaster mode, we're going to just take these wings, fold them out just a little bit, because he still keeps that rectangular shape even in blaster mode. And all of my hinges are super tight, so... But the legs will pretty much be folded up like that. We just got to fold those out, and then we could take the little barrel parts and swing them out, and then fold the feet back, and then fold the wings back ideally. I will do my best to make sure that the next version does not come apart as easy. Now, if this doesn't sit flush, it's just because this turntable top right there has that little peg, and you just kind of have to pull the leg out a little bit to be able to kind of bypass the foot of that, and then it'll sit a lot more flush. And then there's its little blaster mode. Now with this, you would just basically be using any of these anti-studs on the bottom to peg into his fist, which will kind of off-center it, but you know, it's fine. It kind of does what it needs to do. And then, you know, I don't know if these are blast effect compatible, but you could build your own, and that's part of the imagination of working with Lego, you know. So now to get him into his bird mode, basically just, you know, do this with the wings. You know, it's pretty instinctive. And then with the head, that also rotates up like so. And you can leave it with the blasters out or fold them in as well. Then you have the little feet that, you know, I guess would stay in this position and flying mode, or if you want them to stand, you could just rotate them down like that. You could rotate these barrels back in, and then just have them hanging out like that. I did not build a throne because this was all designed nearly a year ago, before I even knew what type of accessories this guy would be coming out with. But the, you know, the head due to transformation goes up and down. I guess this jumper plate right here is technically, those will be his eyes. Ideally, if I had to rebuild this thing, I would make the eyes a different color just for the sake of them standing out for some reason. I mean, I know it's true to the subject matter, but like, why didn't even the toy didn't really make the eyes different? Like, it's really weird. But yeah, that's pretty much it for transformation of this guy. So you have all of this, you know, I got these two hinges on each side of the wings. The head is articulated. I guess even the feet have little feet swivels if you really need something like that, you know, just to create a cool scene with it. But that's little bird dude. So that is pretty much it for Deathsaurus. You know, he got his little tiny Pokemon pals that he hangs out with. I built a little sword, you know, to, you know, because I think his sword pretty much looks like this. But it has a stud on the bottom, so you would just flip the fist around to expose the anti-stud to plug that into. And then, of course, this little bow and arrow thing right here. And I already showed the size comparison with him in robot mode. So, yeah, I'm going to keep it short. Oh, I didn't even go over the shield. The tail shield. So, this will be pretty much the final part here, where this right here folds up. You're going to fold these to where they're nice and flush. And then they rotate on these hinges right here, or fold out on these hinges. And this part could either stay out, could go back, either or. It's all pretty much the same, but I like to fold it out just to make it look a bit more dynamic. And he has these 2x2 jumper plates on his arm to where the shield could pretty much plug into. And let me kind of show that if I can without destroying him. And there you go. And then the wing could kind of come back out a little bit. And there you go. Once again, I can't wait to show this off in the actual deluxe scale, because that would have been ideal for me, considering my whole collection is in deluxe scale. But I am considering putting instructions for this guy on BrixMediaStudios.com, so you'll have instructions for this scale and the option for the one in deluxe scale, depending on what fits your needs the best. But it's all pretty much the same features, but of course the larger that I build, the more detailed it is. So you know, at least to me and others, like this looks cooler in a larger scale, but you know, I just, for video purposes, I had to break it down and stuff like that. And ideally I want to put this in deluxe scale to make it easier to transport, you know. So I want to thank you guys again for liking, subscribing, and sharing, and hanging out with me during this time of where I'm not uploading as frequently as I would like to. Life be lifing, what can I say? But I'm always trying to do my best to find time to bring you guys more content. Got hundreds of videos on the channel, so I think I'm binge worthy now, maybe. But other than that, I hope you guys have been safe and have a super dupe 2024. Peace.